Search and rescue efforts for those missing in the earthquake in Jazarkot and Rukum West have been expedited. Survivors who lost their family members, relatives and home in the earthquake were compelled to spend the cold night under the open sky. Also in this edition of Kantipur News, we have updates about the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict and the ICC Men's One Day International Cricket World Cup. Good morning, I'm Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Victims of earthquake compelled to spend their night under open sky. Most survivors struggling with food and drinking water. Rescue and relief efforts delayed. Meeting of the Council of Ministers decides to cover treatment expenses of survivors of the earthquake. National and international entities commit of aid for Nepal. Arab countries demand an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. US warns it would allow Hamas to regroup. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says no to temporary ceasefire. And Team Nepal taking on Oman for the title of the ICC T20 World Cup Asia Finals, win the toss and decide to bat at the TU Cricket Grounds in Kantipur. Rescue and relief efforts for the victims of the earthquake with its epicenter in Jazarkot has begun from early morning. However, many survivors who did not receive any relief resources yesterday were compelled to spend the chilly night under the open sky. Many survivors of the devastating earthquake who did not receive essentials were compelled to spend the cold night on the street and damaged buildings as officials fear an increase in death toll amid ongoing rescue efforts. Survivors who have lost their family members, relatives and home have said that they did not have temporary shelters, food and drinking water. Children, women and senior citizens have been worst affected. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake had struck Jazarkot on Friday at 11:47 p.m. with its epicenter in Ramidara. According to police, at least 157 people have lost their lives in the earthquake. 105 people have been killed in Jazarkot alone, with 33 men and 72 women. 52 people have lost their lives in Rukum West with 25 men and 27 women. 81 individuals have been injured in Jazarkot and 78 in Rukum West. Police data show that 170 individuals have been injured in the two worst affected districts. According to police, 8 injured individuals of Rukum West have been rescued and brought to Kathmandu for treatment. They are out of danger and are being treated at the Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital in the capital's Maharajganj. The remaining injured are undergoing treatment at the district hospital, Chor Jahari Hospital and other health institutions in the district. Likewise, 27 injured are receiving treatment at Veri Hospital in Nepalganj and 25 are being treated at Surkhet Hospital. Another individual is undergoing treatment at Kolpur Hospital. Meanwhile, one person who was taken to Nepalganj has passed away. 3 individuals each have been injured in Dailek and Jumla. The security heads of both the affected districts have said that rescue operations are underway with the efforts of all 3 security departments. 33 individuals injured in the earthquake of Jazarkot and West Rukum of Karnali province are undergoing treatment at the Veri Hospital, while another individual is undergoing treatment at the Kolpur Medical College. It has been learned that of those injured, 30 are out of risk while 2 are in a critical condition. According to Veri Hospital, preparations are being made to send the body of a deceased youth of Jazarkot to his home. The government has decided to cover the treatment expenditure and cost of those injured in the earthquake. Today's emergency meeting of the Council of Ministers held at Singhadarbar to delve into the loss of lives and properties, rescue and relief efforts has also decided to accept the foreign aid to be received. The Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority, chaired by the Prime Minister, is also taking additional decisions regarding further steps to be taken at the earthquake-affected area. In our Public Voice segment, we have asked in several provinces regarding ways to ensure effective rescue and relief operations during disasters. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
जति पनि पीडितहरू हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरुको उद्धार र घाइतेहरूको उपचारमा चाहिँ सरकार गम्भीर भएर लाग्नुपर्छ।
राज्यका सबै संयन्त्र सँगसँगै स्थानीय नागरिकहरूको पनि चाहिँ परिचालन गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने लाग्छ।
सामानहरू कहाँबाट जुटाएर हुन्छ, कसरी जुटाएर हुन्छ, के गरेर हुन्छ भनेर त्यो चाहिँ आफ्नो पहिल्यै नै एउटा चाँडो भन्दा चाँडो माइन्ड मेकअप गरेर चाहिँ त्यहाँ लग्न सक्यो भने चाहिँ धेरै राम्रो हुन्छ।
राज्यको मात्र मुख पनि ताक्नु हुँदैन यो बेला। तपाईँ हामी सबैले हरेक क्षेत्रबाट हामी नेपाली दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनीहरू चाहे स्वदेशमा रहनुभएका चाहे विदेशमा रहनुभएका सबैले हामीलाई पीडित पक्षलाई भन्ने हिसाबले एकदम सही ठाउँमा पुगोस् भन्ने हिसाबले हामीले प्रभावकारी बनाउनुपर्छ।
पीडितहरूको आवश्यकता अनुसार राहत वितरण गर्न जरुरी छ
र विपद व्यवस्थापन सम्बन्धी जुटिरहेका चाहिँ हाम्रा संरचनाहरूलाई ती निकायहरूलाई तत्काल प्रभावकारी हिसाबबाट परिचालन गर्नुपर्छ।
सबैभन्दा धेरै त अब स्थानीय निकाय नै सक्रिय हुनुपर्छ।
खाद्यान्न, आवास र स्वास्थ्यप्रति ध्यान दिनुपर्छ।
सर्वसाधनयुक्त एकीकृत टोली परिचालन गर्ने र क्रमिक रूपमा आवश्यक राहत वितरण गर्ने।
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why is the government mechanism to alert disasters not effective? Your options are A. Lack in information technology, B. Negligence by employees, and C. Lack of responsibility. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, 4 individuals have died in a vehicular accident in Doti. The ill-fated vehicle that was headed to Bazura from Dhangadi met with the accident at Sikar municipality in Doti. Another 5 individuals have been injured in the accident. Sudur Paschim Traffic Police Office, Attaria, said that the accident had occurred at around 2:30 a.m. earlier this morning. Radhika Malal of Bazura, Dhanshoba Buda, her 6-year-old son Kavindra, and an 8-month-old infant, Prathana Malal, also of Bazura, were among the deceased. Those injured are undergoing treatment at Sailashwari Hospital in Doti. The vehicle had plunged around 60 meters below the road section. Welcome back. It is now time for the international news. Arab countries demand an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, but the United States of America has warned this would allow Hamas to regroup. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met leaders from Lebanon, Qatar and Jordan in Amman as he pushes for humanitarian pauses in the fighting. Blinken is heading to Turkey as he continues his diplomatic push. He's been working with leaders in the region on a so-called humanitarian pause in the fighting. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Friday there will be no temporary ceasefire with Hamas in Gaza until all Israeli hostages are released. Earlier, a U.S. envoy said 350,000 to 400,000 people remain in northern Gaza, which Israel has warned civilians to leave. The Israeli military is also carrying out strikes in the south, and the United Nations says no part of Gaza is safe. Israel began bombing Gaza after Hamas killed more than 1,400 people in Israel and kidnapped more than 200 others. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says more than 9,400 people have been killed in the strip since October 7. Protesters rallying in Washington amid the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas gathered outside the White House to demand a ceasefire in Gaza. Thousands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators waved Palestinian flags and held signs while chanting phrases against U.S. President Joe Biden. World and regional powers have failed to reach any consensus on how to deal with the escalating conflict in the 4 weeks since fighters from Hamas, which runs the Gaza Strip, burst over the border, killing 1,400 people and taking more than 240 others hostage. Israel has since struck Gaza from the air, imposed a cease, and launched a ground assault, stirring global alarm at humanitarian conditions on the enclave and killing more than 9,488 Palestinians, the Gaza health officials have said. Other pro-Palestinian protests took place also on Saturday in European capitals and major cities around the world. A 35-year-old man drove a car through a barrier onto the grounds of the Hamburg airport in what police have described as a custody dispute. Police said no one appeared to be injured, but the airport announced it was currently closed for takeoffs and landings, and airport terminals were evacuated. A spokesperson for the airport said 27 flights had been affected. The event occurred around 8 p.m. local time. The police initially reported the man was armed and had fired shots upon entering the airport. A later statement clarified that banging noises were heard, but it was yet unclear whether the man was armed. Police said he threw 2 burning bottles out of the vehicle. The man's 4-year-old son was with him in the car as he parked his vehicle beneath the plane on the airport tarmac. Police said psychologists were also on the scene and in contact with the man. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Victims of earthquake compelled to spend their night under open sky. Most survivors struggling with food and drinking water. Rescue and relief efforts delayed. Meeting of the Council of Ministers decides to cover treatment expenses of survivors of the earthquake. National and international entities commit of aid for Nepal. Arab countries demand an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. US warns it would allow Hamas to regroup. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says no to a temporary ceasefire. And Nepal taking on Oman for the title of the ICC T20 World Cup Asia Finals. Nepal won the toss and are batting at the TU Cricket Grounds in Kantipur. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin is at 6 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Live coverage of the ICC T20 World Cup Asia Finals between Nepal and Oman is up next.